Creating a new account with Etsy, like 99.99999% of the time, your account will get suspended within the first 2 weeks. That's just the bots. That's just the way their process works. And, you know, mind you, the email that you get from them doesn't sound very nice. You've got to think, oh, what have I done wrong? But it's actually, it's just the normal process. You just lodge an appeal and then it usually gets reinstated. The other thing that I actually got caught out with this one, I knew I had to do it, but I completely forgot when I went in to create an account, was I should have used an affiliate link from another seller, because the affiliate link gives you the first 40 listings free. Otherwise, you're paying 20 cents per listing, right? So I forgot. And then, of course, you can't delete your account and recreate it with the same email address. It doesn't work. So that's just something a little tip. The other thing I discovered too was that when you're in Amazon, you can change your bank account details, your credit card details. Etsy, you can't change your bank account. Once you've created your account, you put in your bank account details. That's it. You cannot change it. Yeah, it's a really bizarre rule that they've got there, but the system doesn't allow you. Like I'll set it up with my bank account, you know, that got in Australia, and I'm selling in the US, and I thought, okay, so I want to go and put in Airwallex or Wise account details, and I couldn't do it. So now listing products, Amazon, you can pretty much sell everything, as long as it's, you know, well, in the US you can even sell guns. I mean, go figure. But in Etsy, they're more looking for, there's 3 categories. You've got your vintage items, you've got craft items, and then you've also got handmade. So handmade they've kind of become a bit more relaxed around that category. So it doesn't have to be physically handmade, but it has to be your design. So like I've got, a lot of you know, I've got one of my products is the screen cleaner, and I can't sell the screen cleaner on its own on Etsy because it's not considered handmade. But what I've done is I've created 2 other products with the screen cleaner as the primary product, sort of like a kit or a bundle, and I can sell those because they're my design, and I've got those up on Etsy. Yeah, so it's just something to think about. I do have another product that is in the vintage. It's not a vintage product, but it's a vintage inspired product, and I'm allowed to sell that on there. So those products I'm only selling in Australia. I've got another account for the US. So yeah, just be mindful of that. The 3 categories, you're kind of limited. But one thing Etsy is really, really strict on is the transparency and full disclosure of who makes your products and where they're made. So really around, like, there's a question that you have to answer is, but when you're creating your listings, is who makes it, who made the product. You can't, unless you actually make it yourself, like you manufacture it yourself physically and you're touching it, you can't say that you made it. But what Etsy allows now is that you're allowed to have like product partners, you know, like, which is your suppliers, and you just have to put their details in, but you don't have to let, like, the details, your supply details don't have to be published on your listing, right? It's just information for Etsy, so that, you know, it's, if anybody does ask, you know, they have already kind of vetted your listing, and you have proven that you're the designer of the products, but you work with a partner to manufacture them. Look, if you're not sure, just ask somebody who's already selling on Etsy, you know, whether if the product you can get away with it or not. Sometimes you look at what people are selling on there and you think, oh, how do they get that listed, you know? But there's obviously some criteria that they've met that Etsy allows them to do that. Keywords are just as important as they are on other platforms like Amazon and your website. So you do put your best keywords in your title, and there's also, when you're creating a listing, you can add up to 13 tags, which are good for keywords as well. And each tag only allows you to have up to 20 characters, but it's a great place to put in, like, this is where you do your research, right, on what people are searching for, and search phrases, and you can put a lot of those into the tags that you couldn't necessarily, you know, put in. And Etsy allows you to set up ad campaigns, right? So you can control those yourself, and you can have even just a $1 a day budget if you wanted to. But Etsy also runs their own campaigns, and they choose which listings they want to run off-site, off Etsy's platform. And that includes Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Will choose which listings they will, like they've got one of my listings in Australia that they advertise, and it's off Etsy's platform. And if a sale comes through, like an order comes through from where customers clicked on one of those off-site ads, that Etsy will take a commission. Unfortunately, it's very high. But again, you know, at the end of the day, it's a sale. But the maximum, so I did some research into this. You can opt out if your annual revenue for the past year has been less than $10,000. But once you hit the $10,000 threshold, you don't have a choice. They will advertise your products off Etsy's platform. You don't have a choice in that at all. But it's just something to be aware of. I think that's probably the main points. I just thought I'd mention, and it's something that happened to me. I had a customer buy one of my high-end products, not the screen cleaning and the other products I got, on Amazon, and for whatever reason, Amazon's courier didn't bother delivering it and returned it saying the customer had cancelled the order, which wasn't true. And so this I didn't find out about this until later. The same customer went into Etsy the next day. Mind you, he left a scathing review, like a 1-star about the courier, and Amazon took full responsibility for that, so it didn't affect my seller ratings. But he went the next day onto Etsy and purchased the same product off Etsy. Wow. So I fulfilled it from home. He was sending it as a gift to a guy at a radio station down in Melbourne, right? And it was only when I saw his name pop up, I thought, oh, that name sounds familiar. Then I realized it was the same guy off Amazon. So it doesn't hurt to have your product advertised across multiple platforms. I mean, that was a bizarre situation, but it happened.
That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of over 2,500 professional e-commerce sellers from right around the world, selling on everything from Amazon to Shopify, eBay to Etsy, and much, much more. If you'd like to find out what we're doing and how we go about helping you make your business successful, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is in the description. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.